and welcome in. I am Miss Kinghorn and welcome in to another Sims 4 speed build. This week we are building a family suburban. Now this is going to have 3 children's bedrooms plus a master bedroom with its own ensuite, and obviously the 3 children share a bathroom as well. Now this is on a 30 by 20 lot, but don't let that surprise you. It is big. The floor plan for this was actually quite difficult to try and get the 4 bedrooms in, and how they end up. And obviously we do end up with a large area in the middle, which we use as a open plan sort of living, dining, kitchen area. But we'll see more of that later on. Right, so we are working on the loft room up here. Now we do actually have an actual room in the loft that you can use. I chose not to, and you can also use a ladder to get up to that. Maybe as a bit of storage, maybe as an office or something. But the way I did the roof, it doesn't show up very well in there, so I left that empty for you. But you can use that if you wish, and if you do then upload it to the gallery again, make sure to tag me in them as well. I'm always interested to see how people are using my builds and what you decide to do with them. Right, as we are working on the roof still, let's talk about the suburban aspect of this house. Now this is kind of my take on an American suburban. Now, I've never been to America. I've never seen a house like this in the world, but I have seen lots of images of the wonderful view in there, and it's kind of my take. So some things are a bit yay, some things you might not like in there, but I do think it comes across quite nicely. Obviously a suburban house is basically just somewhere that's in the suburban areas around a big city in there, but I think having a nice sort of single story, it's very playable as well in the game, things like that. So hopefully you should like it too. But do let me know in the comments below if you've downloaded this build, if you've liked it, and yeah, please get a big thumbs up and comment what you think. I think this sort of world here in Newcrest works really well for sort of the suburban look that we are going for, given the fact that there's tall buildings in the background, maybe offices, maybe apartments, sort of businesses in there. It kind of fits in that whole sort of, there's a city nearby that you would sort of commute to in there. But I do think we're going to do maybe 2, maybe 3 of these sort of suburbans before we head back to our apartment builds. But if you have a family in mind for any of them, whether it's that they are growing and they need more space, or that maybe they're downsizing, do let me know, and we'll see what we can do for you in there, whether it is obviously the suburban houses or whether it is the apartments. That we've done 21 Chick Street, so we've done all 3 of those, so we are going to be moving on to another apartment building. But do let me know if you have any ideas or any preferences for either of those in the comments down below. Alright, then we've jumped ahead a little bit and are working on the front landscaping areas. So we're using quite a lot of sort of big plants, maybe some big sort of hydrangeas, things like that in there, just to give it some nice little definition and some colour coming through as well. At the moment we're just going to do this front garden. We'll come back to do the rear sort of landscaping at the end, and just placing a couple of rocks underneath, and then work on this little patio sort of front entrance area. So we're going to grab out a gorgeous sort of rocking chair, maybe doing some knitting or sewing or something like that. Be a nice little area to hang out on there at the front of your house. Right, more detailing on that front, just to bring it sort of all together, and a little bit more detail and a little bit more sort of texture coming in, other than it being a front sort of bare wall in there. So just get these sort of roof hangs for the trim in there. But now we should be moving nicely into the kitchen. Now I have got to say, this kitchen is my favourite kitchen I've ever built. And now I think I've said that the other day as well, when we were on live stream on Sundays, that was my favourite kitchen. By then I had already recorded this kitchen, and I've got to say, I prefer this one. So we've not used Dream Home Decorator kitchen. We have used a Parenthood kitchen, which I think fits quite nicely with the style that we were going for in here. So using lots of those cabinets in there and getting a nice sort of big U kitchen in there. And you guessed it, it's time to clutter. Now, there's a lot of it. We didn't use too many sort of above cabinets, so there's some open shelving. You can see here on the wall we get a few bits and pieces on there, and then it's just a lot of sort of worktop clutter in and around as well. This is a busy functioning family house, so lots of people coming and going, maybe cooking different things in there at different times. So I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more lived in rather than sort of a stylized sort of home where everything's clean and everything's sort of tidy. This is more lived in as you would normally find, so hence why there is a little bit more clutter than what we would normally put out. But most of the clutter, I mean, you've seen most of my cluttering before. If you're new here, this is pretty much my standard kitchen clutter. There's lots of sort of cottage living, there's lots of sort of snowy escapes, eco, parenthood. They all kind of fit together in kitchen clutter to work really well. There's also some from the country kitchen kit as well. There's a few little pots and pans from sort of there, like the bread bin and things like that we use as well. But I have to say, this is, if I could have a kitchen, this is the one I would have at home. But alas, I have a rather boring empty plain white kitchen, as I'm sure many other people have as well. I can't change it either, so that's yes, we can always dream. That's what the Sims does. It allows us to dream of what things we can't have but we want. In there, right, moving on. And then let's get some lighting in this sort of kitchen and things like that before we move on. But I shall leave you here, and I will pick you back up when it is time for the screenshots at the very end. But sit back and enjoy, and I'll see you in a little while. What? I'm back. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And some of you eagle-eyed people would have spotted that during the recording of this, the new kits came out. So there is now little campers in here as well, bits and pieces. I've gone back through and tried to place them where I think they would most work, but obviously most of this is out in the garden. In here, so you have the new fire pit, you've got the new seating, the new swing set, which I absolutely adore and love the swatches of. I was actually surprised, more than shocked, about some of the swatches, especially on the throw pillow. That's the one item that I really bought the kit for, because I thought it could work everywhere. It doesn't. I'm going to be honest, the swatches for it are sad. It's a lot of sort of bears, it's a lot of stars, spaceships. It is very much designed for kids, which, I mean, is what it's for, but I would have loved to be able to place it on sofas in my bedrooms and lots of other places, but sadly it does not fit. So I'm going to struggle with it, but we'll get it in somewhere. There is lots of other bits and pieces like the tent and the screen, which I could have got in here, but it didn't really work with what we had already got. So we just had to make do with that in there. And most of the planting from the back here, we have just copied over from the front. It's very low maintenance, very simple planting as well. And there. But do let me know what you think down in the comments below, and obviously if you have enjoyed this video then please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can also join me on Twitch where I'm at Miss Kinghorn Builds. I stream The Sims 4 every Sunday starting at 10 o'clock UK time. I'm also here on Twitter where I'm at Miss Kinghorn, or you can even join my Discord, which is the MKB Build Centre. But all of the links are in the description down below for you. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all again really, really soon. But until then, alright, bye everyone!